Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another YouTube video. I'm Sean's Mapping or the Sultanate Empire. And in today's video, we are going to be continuing what if the Cold War did not end or what if the Soviet Union did not collapse. Now, I know you may be looking at the map and the map may look very, very different. And that is due to the fact that, um, I recorded episode 6. But then the file got corrupted and lost. So now we're here. So as we can see right over here in Africa, we have South Sudan gaining a big portion of land from Sudan itself. We have the Yugoslav Civil War. We of course still have the Kurds doing their Kurdy things. We have the end of the North-South Korean War over here, with South Korea winning due to sustained support from America. We have Indonesia crushing a rebellion right over here. And now this is where we are at. Not much else happened besides support changing here and there with certain countries and the US. But we will be looking at something else. And what is that? Well, that is Germany. Something is happening. No one knows what, no one is quite sure what. Something is happening. If we just focus in right down in the southern part of Germany, we might be able to see it in 3, 2, and 1. And here we are. A communist rebellion appears in West Germany. Now, it is in fact communist, so everyone knows that it's most likely being supported by the Soviets. But they're wrong. They find zero Soviet support. Instead, they do find multiple supporting assets and equipment from East Germany that belongs to the East German military. So after collapsing this northern communist rebellion with the aid of their allies and pushing this one heavily like so, with French volunteers crossing over the French rebel border down in the south, down right over here, we do see the West German, military be able to commence pushes along their entire border down here with the main rebellion group. Now, something happens. While this communist rebellion is going on, some things are happening elsewhere. I won't tell you what it is, but just know this. Humanity must constantly look to the stars. Now back on topic. As French volunteers and West German forces push in on this southern region, West German forces close in and destroy the last bits of rebel holdouts in this area, one of those holdouts being a warehouse. Now, unfortunately, there were East German troops within that warehouse, and they were both shot and killed. And essentially, East Germany condemns West Germany for shooting and killing their troops. But West Germany states that it was lawful because they were working with rebels and they were with rebels at the time of the killing. East Germany then declares war on West Germany, which brings in the entirety of Europe on East Germany's side, and then eventually America. And East Germany calls in the Soviets. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I would like to welcome you to World War Three. Dun dun dun. Uh, anyways, let us continue looking at what is going to be going on over here. First things first, East Germany, very well knowing what they were doing and very well expecting this, immediately begins pushing troops into West German territory. Now, the North goes okay, but not as well as the South, due to there being a heavy presence of West German troops in the northern regions because of this rebellion area right over here. Now, with that, French troops properly begin to get involved in this war, and eventually the rebellion does, in fact, fall over to West German troops and French forces due to them properly being involved in this war. Now, I would just also like to say that we will look at Europe and we will look at the sides. See who is on what side and what side is working with who. Oh, sorry. I am a little tired. It's been a very long day. Now, if we look at this beautiful, beautiful map right here, we can see there are only two front lines in Europe. Well, three technically. There are three front lines in Europe: the German front line, the Croatian front line, and the Greek, Turkish, Bulgarian front line down here. And if you want to include Iran as well, or Iran. But the Kurds are rebelling against Iran and Iraq, and Turkey has already made a deal with them because it was revealed that America was supporting the Kurdish. Very, very interesting. Now, we are going to look at this war in different stages. This war will last 5 episodes. So, from this episode all the way to episode 10, it will last 5 episodes. I do believe. I think it's 5. I think. I do not know. Give me a moment. But this first stage will be known as the Soviet push, where we will see the Soviets gain rapid amount of land in certain areas. We will basically see the Soviets gain massive pushes in Germany and other areas. But that's once the Soviets get their troops up here properly. Because right now it's just puppet states. Puppet states and allied communist countries. So, for example, we'll be seeing the Greeks and the Turks, for once, working together against a common enemy. And they fight as one united force. Now, the world watches this war unfold, and the world's just kind of like, oh shit. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. But that's not the only thing. The entirety of the US's influence slash alliance, because in this world they didn't just create NATO, they created a democratic alliance that invited all democratic countries. Only some joined. With the Soviets distracted over in the Europe front, the Japanese do a quick blitz invasion up here in Siberia, a place that they're fairly used to fighting in since they did fight the Soviets and the Russian Empire in these areas while it was in fact snowing and wintry. But the Japanese do what they do best and they fight hard alongside South Korean troops, which are also helping. We also see the Japanese do something they're good at as well, and that is taking islands. And I mean, they take these islands fairly easily and make a landing up here in Siberia, which they instantly regret due to the absolute frigid cold. Now, the Soviets just kind of decide to abandon Siberia altogether and let the Japs kind of just waste their resources on invading and attacking up there. Meanwhile, China is too busy with India to even think about getting involved in this war. But let us push over to this beautiful area right over here. Now, as we kind of zoom in here, right, we are going to essentially see Soviet forces arrive and they are going to enact a doctrine known as the Stalin Doctrine, which is essentially the Soviets became a lot more radical and they basically um, the leadership essentially created a doctrine based on what Stalin did since it helped them win World War One or World War Two, sorry, correct myself. And this doctrine basically just sees the mass push of troops into enemy territory and also enemy occupied territory, and no retreat is allowed. You retreat, you get shot by your own machine guns, plain and simple. So this doctrine goes kind of well, but not too well. But they're able to gain lots and lots of land over in Europe. Well, the German part of Europe. Meanwhile, down here, Bulgaria falls under the pressure of Greece and Turkey combined, allowing the Greeks to begin to set up a border with Romania and have basically the front lines just kind of move back a little, then move back originally, and then push up a little. Meanwhile, with Italian support arriving within Croatia, the Yugoslav country that is in the center here quickly falls over to them. The Soviets do end up sending support down here to Hungary, and it does arrive on time to slow the Italian Croatian push. And that is exactly what happens. The Italian Croatian push gets slowed down drastically as they're only able to take these areas right over here, meet up with the border of communist Czechoslovakia, And we will also be moving down over here as Turkey isn't deploying their full force over there. They've kind of split their military in two, some helping Greece, the rest are helping the Kurdish, who are currently in the process of fighting against Iran. With Turkish support and military aid coming in from Turkey, we see the Kurds push fairly far into Iran, or Iran, if you will. And that is what happens during phase one of World War III, known as the Soviet push. I'm Sean's Mapping, or the Sultanate Empire. I hope you all enjoyed today's video, and if you did, go down beneath the video and hit that like button. If you didn't, go down beneath the video and hit the dislike button. If you want to be notified or updated of the next time I upload, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and then hit that bell notification icon right next to the subscribe button to be notified of the next time I upload or make a post onto my channel. I'm Sean's Mapping, or the Sultanate Empire. I hope you beautiful ladies and gentlemen enjoy the rest of your day or night, wherever you may be, wherever you may live. And I'll see y'all in the next video. See ya!